want to say thank you to our sponsors, Watchman Cigars, 1812 Barbecue, Blue Collar Cycle Shop, and Hook, Line, and Heroes. Without you, this episode would not be possible. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, while you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Blue Collar Cycle Studio right here in beautiful Concord, North Carolina. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me introduce you to the starting lineup. To my left, your right, on the radio dial, on the control panel, it is Producer Brian.
Hey, guys.
I, of course, be your host, Biggun, and how about you? We have in studio our special guest, Robert Belanger from Webmerized.
How you doing?
And, of course, across the way is the pride of Anderson, South Carolina. But most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue one, 2016's Honorable Mention CDC Employee of the Year, the inventor of the Redneck Egg Roll. Give it up on old mic number one. It's Mojo!
We picked up an additional sponsor for the show. We are now being sponsored by Charmin. We've got your ass covered for all your coronavirus needs. Appreciate you guys tuning in once again to our podcast. If you're listening to this, then obviously it was a few days before we recorded it. We are live and safe, corona-free, so far.
I've been drinking Corona for a week. I feel great.
I wish you would have brought some.
I thought about it.
Go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. It is a magical place to land.
Magic.
Developed by Robert.
The Gathering.
And you have playable links there. You can follow the show notes, or on the anything we talk about, we post. Producer Brian puts on the show notes. I really don't do much anymore on this thing. They just let me show up every once in a while. And go there, just check it out. We are business friendly, work friendly, unless you have been quarantined to your house. Then you can also work from home and listen from home.
There you go.
Go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. Also, wherever you download your podcast, make sure you go search Southern Fried Philosophy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a like, a rating, review. That's how people find out about us. And especially since people are being quarantined, it will probably boost our numbers a little bit.
You ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Might as well.
It's a great time to catch up on old episodes.
Yeah, you can only watch so much Netflix.
But you can listen to us 24/7.
Yeah, that's right. Our melodic voices. And if you want to, we can even probably do a whole episode of ASMR or whatever.
We tried that, remember? It's
that
so
sounds
hard.
like a disease.
Well, it's probably going to be the next one, right? Coronavirus ASMR.
The soft bellowing listenings of the COVID ASMR. Yeah, just check us out there. Just keep spreading the word. We're hopefully I can get as many downloads as there are confirmations of COVID-19 around the world.
There you
That'd
go.
Be awesome.
That'd be our goal.
Yeah.
Go to our website. If you scroll all the way down, there'll be a place where it says keep in touch. Put in your email address. We will not spam you. We will not sell your data, but we will send you an email every time we release an episode so you can be informed and ready to go with a playable link where you can click and just listen.
Maybe coupons from our newest sponsor for free toilet paper.
Charmin.
The Magic Maker.
We want to say shout out to our listeners. What did you put? You put all the Z's on here, Producer Brian?
I mean, those are the ones I could find last week.
All right.
You said you couldn't find any Z cities, so
that actually listened to our show.
Well,
but anyway,
yeah.
we would love, and we're going to hashtag all
these
of
people
these.
are going to listen because their city name will be on the show notes.
Sure.
So they'll start Googling their city. It will just pop up.
Zachary.
That's how the internet works, right,
Yeah.
Robert?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Zachary, Louisiana, Evansville, Ohio, Zappos, Texas, Zeeland, Michigan, Zephyr Cove, Nevada, Zephyr Hills, Florida, Zion, Illinois, Zionsville, Indiana, Zumbro Falls, Minnesota, and Zuni, New Mexico. Shout out to you people. Hope you listen. I'm gonna ask you like I ask you every week, Producer Brian. How you be doing?
Still kicking.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for these days, right? Oh, gosh.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Never mind.
Can I tell you guys a story?
Please do.
So Monday, we recorded a podcast Monday. Mm-hmm. So Tuesday, I defaulted the dad night. So I got the kids do all the extracurricular activities.
Oh, buddy. What all does that entail?
Well, that day of the week, Tuesday, is swimming lessons.
Okay.
And I picked them up from school and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, we're going to do this, go do the extracurricular stuff. I need to go to Lowe's. I just need to run some errands. So
okay.
We'll just go. We're going to go out to eat. This wing place has kids' night. They do like balloons.
Ooh,
and, kids eat free. One of them would have got free meal kind of thing. All right. Super dad here. So we get there a little early. It's like 5:10 or something. Okay. No balloon man. I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's just like later, So we've been there before, and the some really good balloon animal.
We're talking about the what's his name?
Fernando.
Yeah. Is that what we were talking about?
I don't know his name. I've had a
Mexican
couple
restaurant?
No. It's East Coast Wings over by North Lake.
Okay. Okay.
Good wings. But
I would fair to venture that Fernando is not making his way all the way over to North Lake.
There's a few different balloon guys around.
I think it's actually a balloon mafia, balloon guy mafia. They're all controlled by one handler.
It's probably a union or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, maybe. Sorry.
So. The balloon man never shows up. So, all right. Well, I told my kids may be there, maybe not. So they weren't terribly disappointed, even though they already had their animals picked out.
Oh no.
I tried to talk my son into getting a Stegosaurus balloon animal, that kind of thing. So the bill comes, and I look at the bill, and there's no free stuff on it.
Oh.
Right. So, this is odd. And I start thinking real hard. And I think in my head, it was Wednesday, which is kids' night. At East Coast Wings. So my daughter thinks it's hilarious. It's like, I said, what day is it? She goes, it's Tuesday. Because I was like, before I went, I'm Googling kids eat free in Charlotte on Wednesday, right? Because there's two places we go where kids eat free on, there's like 3 places we'll go. 2 of them have balloon animals. And one's a Tuesday and one's a Wednesday.
Should have gone there.
Yeah. So it's, wrong day. Classic.
So are you going to take her back on Tuesday to get the balloon animal?
No, we didn't go back,
No.
But so I'm blaming this on daylight savings time.
Which you should.
I did not jump an hour ahead. I jumped a day ahead. So literally all week, I've been thinking it's Friday today, right?
It's like Australian time.
I'm driving home this afternoon from being up here, and it's like, it's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday. It's not. No, it's Thursday. I have another day to deal with.
I woke up on Monday thinking it was Friday. I was like, hey, buddy, that's not the case.
That happens a lot, too.
Yeah. Mojo, how you been doing?
I'm just sitting back, eating my keto-friendly popcorn, watching the world burn down.
Is there keto-friendly popcorn?
No. But
it's called pork rinds.
Yeah, actually, I did have a bag of pork rinds. Another poor dietary choice today, hot and spicy. But I'm great. I'm just watching everybody panic.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see the idiocracy kick in.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Who knows? How about you?
Bobbert, I'm going to defer to Bobbert because he said he had a story that he wanted to share on the show, and then I'll go.
So, I recently turned 40, and, it's kind of a little bit of an emotional thing on 40, and that kind of thing. So I started the whole doctor appointments, little fun doctor appointments. You hit 40, that's the magical age. All those fun appointments start, right? So the first off my list was dermatologist. The full body, mold check. I'm in Florida, so I spend a lot of time in the sun. So I'm like, you know what? It's not a bad idea. So I go there, and I sit in the waiting room in my boxers, and then there's little paper blankets.
You're in the waiting room in boxers?
Well, sorry. Yeah. Started the waiting room forever. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Then you moved into
jumping ahead there.
Yeah, just a bit. Sorry. So I'm in the.
You're painting a picture. Remember, Robert.
I am sorry. So I'm in the doctor office room I'm in there for a while, waiting. Finally, three doctors come in. Three. It's the assistant.
They're bringing the heat.
Yes, it's the main doctor, assistant, and some other person. I don't know.
Just a rando person they got out of the street.
Apparently so. So they said, okay, we're going to go through your whole, check your whole body for moles and all that kind of fun stuff. So they start and everything's normal. And I'm sitting there like, okay, we're going to lay you back. I'm going to look at the bottom of your feet. I'm thinking, okay, no problem. So I lean back. The moment I pick my feet up, all 3 of them give me that weird, what is that look?
Oh, no.
All their eyes get big. and they're just staring at it, and they all kind of turn their head, and I'm like, oh, dear Jesus, what is going on? And they're like, Mr. Belanger, you seem to have a pink glittery sticker that says Discovery on it. So that's dad life. I have 2 daughters, and there's stickers all over the house. So that was my freak out moment.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
That would have been terrifying.
Well, I got it removed successfully.
Good.
That's the good news.
How much did that cost?
Yeah, how was your copay on that one?
It was, I don't know yet. Well, I'm sure I'll get a bill for it. But
have you had the bend over and cough one?
that's coming up.
That's 50, right?
Probably.
Like 50 where you get the...
there.
I thought you get 50 for the copay.
Get
I've already had that.
the camera up, the old Wazoo.
Oh, no. Yo.
Yeah, I've had that. I had
Yeah,
that
you've
one.
had it all, I think. You already checked all
I had
your
that
boxes.
at 32. I'm glad they did it.
They were checking your heart, right?
I guess you've got to reroute it up that way.
Wow.
From the rooter to the tutor. So
Everything else turned out okay then?
Yeah, everything was good.
Good.
Except for that. But, that happens.
Well, good. I'm glad things turned out okay.
Absolutely.
Guys, I got to tell you, I had a week. It was a calm, brisk Tuesday, and I'm in my office, and just kind of, I think it could have been Friday, it could have been Wednesday. The balloon man was not there. I know that for sure.
Must have been Tuesday.
I was in my office, and we did the SFB Insiders, and we've been yucking up the coronavirus. Oh, you guys are overreacting. It's insane. You guys are being ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. And I start coughing a little bit in the morning. It was just a little bit. And then as the day progressed, I'm coughing a little bit more and more, and my throat is getting more and more sore. I'm like, oh, God, here, something's up. And I get to the point where I know something. I'm not feeling great. I'm tired. Sore throat, running, and then my nose starts to run. Oh no. So I WebMD myself yet again, which, again, my wife has said, no more WebMDing yourself. So I WebMD, runny nose, sore throat, coughing. My joints felt a little painful. I think that's probably because I might have had some bread. I just didn't, and just tired, and the coronavirus popped up. Oh God. Within, I am not kidding you, 30 minutes, Robert's been working at my house all week, and I'm like, I'm not going to freak him out. I'm going to go outside and go for a walk. So I go for a walk, and I'm on the phone with my doctor, and I say, I think I've got coronavirus. What do I do? And she goes, well, tell me your symptoms. Runny nose, sore throat, achy, feeling like coughing a little bit. And I was like, I think I'm freaking out, but I'm not sure. And then her words were, well, let me give you the number for the North Carolina CDC, which that doesn't help me either. So now I'm freaking out, thinking, well, she thinks I've got it. Maybe I've got it. So I then call them, and they're like, do you have a fever? I was like, I just want to be tested. Like, at this point, I think that I'm overreacting, but I want to be tested. Well, do you have a fever? No, I don't have a fever. Well, you need to have a fever before we can test you. Well, how do I know? Maybe I'm carrying this thing and I don't want to spread it on to other people. Well, you got to have a fever. Like, well, this is pointless. So now I hang up with them. I book an appointment for my doctor. And then I had that moment where I'm like, I'm going to need to tell Jessica about this because I'm starting to freak out a little bit. And I went up and I told my wife, and I said, hey, I think I'm being ridiculous, but I've got a runny nose. I've got a sore throat. I'm coughing. I feel an achy, and I'm exhausted. She's like, honey, you realize it's time change and it's your allergies. You do this every year. Don't you remember you have this same thing every year? No, ma'am, I don't. I think I have coronavirus. She looked at me and she goes, you're a damn fool. You
Truer words are never spoken.
You are insane right now. Are you kidding me? I'm like, baby, I've been on the phone with the North Carolina CDC. I made a doctor's appointment. she just looked at me like, I have never been more disappointed in you in my life.
So you're the first presumptive case in Cabarrus County.
Oh, sure. 100%.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You know what happened here is the doctor went, stop wasting my time.
That-
Call the CDC.
That's
Bingo.
what it was. I was like, well, why? I said, babe, why did she tell me to call the CDC? She goes, because you're insane. Because they don't want to be held liable for that, to tell you don't, and then what happens if you do, and then you can come back, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, no.
She doesn't want to report that.
I'm literally
Well, she
washing
didn't
my
want you
hands
to
of
come
that.
in either.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So
So you're saying you had a 100% case of the hypochondria?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I'm taking this class here, Ola, about it was titled How to Communicate Better, which I thought it was a class on how to actually communicate, like, talk better, enunciate and whatnot. That's not the case. So I was a little disappointed.
You get like a
So
certificate
far,
or something?
Can you get your money back on that class?
Well, my wife's teaching, so we get a free scholarship. So there's that. And then it turns out like my personality is go down the list, hypochondriac. Well, there we go. That explains a bunch of that. So yeah, I'm a hypochondriac, and I had the first preemptive case of coronavirus in my household. So there's that. If you're in the market for a high-quality cigar for a very reasonable price, you must check out our friends at Watchman Cigars. Watchman Cigars is a family-owned business that puts the customer first with the best customer service in the business. Watchman Cigars offers the Habano for a full, spicy flavor, the Connecticut for a mild, easy-to-smoke option, and the Maduro for a strong, powerful experience. They even do specialty blends and partner with you to provide a custom, exclusive line just for you. Watchman Cigars has all your cigar needs. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Watchman Cigars 1991, or check out his new website at watchmancigars.com or the sponsor section of our website. It was a rough week, guys. It's been a rough week. So there's.
I think the anxiety from the coronavirus is worse than the coronavirus. It's just gotten.
We're going to talk about that on our hot topics.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. I'll let you keep the.
We got some stuff. I got a few things to add to that too.
All right, so let's talk about some follow-up discussions. Or did you want to keep talking about? Or we'll move on.
Yeah,
follow-up
yeah,
discussions.
we'll hit Corona at the end there.
Yep, locks. We have that on the schedule.
Yeah, well, I forget. We mentioned it last week. I forget.
Salmon and locks.
Salmon. Yeah. So, and we didn't have Mojo here to correct us or to give us the true definition of what this was. I looked it up when I got home.
Yep. So, do you know what locks is? Mm-hmm. Do you want to define
Smoked
it?
salmon.
Oh, that's what we thought.
I thought
right?
so, but apparently it's salt cured salmon. Ooh. It's not actually smoked. Like proper locks. That just
Jewish locks.
Jewish, I guess. I did the old Wikipedia, the WebMD of facts.
Well, my Jewish deli friend has lied to me all these years.
I've always thought it was. Did I have locks or did I have smoked salmon on a bagel? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you just called it locks. It was a Jewish bagel shop. It was fantastic. I couldn't stay open for some reason, but I don't see how people eat that for breakfast either. Have you ever had?
No,
locks
it freaks
and cream
me out
cheese?
for breakfast.
It's good.
I know I've had it on brunch because like brunch, you're kind of getting towards like noon.
But you're not through your first cup of coffee, and you're eating smoked fish on. It's delicious, but not at 7:30.
No, because our American palate, we want something sugary or salty,
I was about to say,
bacon or eggs or like Lucky Charms.
You want to go. You don't want to have that next to a bowl of Lucky Charms.
No, you probably don't want to be two-fisting. Spoon in one hand and the locks in the other.
That actually might pair really nicely, though.
You think so?
Think about like ginger and smoked salmon.
Well, I do like to. I mean, maybe we could do whiskey and locks in the morning. We'll just make that a habit. Just a couple shooters of whiskey.
That could be our breakfast on the Bourbon Trail.
There you go.
Well, it might be canceled now too, so I don't know.
It may be. They may shut down the distillery.
Surely not. That's like the safest place in the world, right?
No, Kentucky's going bat crap crazy.
Well, we get the black fungus there.
So I asked on the last episode, we talked about my throat issue and how I've been doing that. And we asked...
Are you still on WebMD? Or
we asked our folks, hey, send us some information if you know what's causing Biggun's throat issue. So then here's some of the responses. Because and just to back up, I've had this throat issue since November. I haven't been myself. It's just, it's raspy. So they said it's A, sinuses. It's B, the coronavirus. So I'm not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody asked, did you go to Wuhan and let a monkey lick your own butt?
Mm.
Did you get attacked by a bat? And then it became bat soup. And then the next one, which I kind of like this one. Are you the next Batman?
Hey.
I was like, well, maybe. Maybe this is just training me to be the next Batman. I'm Batman. See, that's pretty good.
Could work out.
I'm working on it. So thanks to all the people that sent in that information. You just made me even more hypochondriac. I appreciate you. I don't know what I'm going to do. All right. And then have you guys seen this book by Dean Koontz called The Eyes of Darkness?
I've heard of it. And I know that a lot of Dean Koontz and Clancy, a few other guys, they do the predictive, almost like the predictive programming, the basically future forecasting of events that could happen.
Clancy's, I've read all those.
Yeah, there's Brad Thor is another one that does a lot of this inside baseball because most of these guys have had inside information with the government. So,
well, this was written in 1981. You may want to go ahead and cue that X-Files music up. This is quote in the book. In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. That's pretty good. Li Chen, he defected to the United States carrying a disc-like record of China's most important and dangerous new biological weapons in a decade. They called it, ready for this? Wuhan 400, because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside the city of Wuhan, and it was the 400th viable strain of the man-made microorganisms that was created at the research center. Wuhan 400 is a perfect weapon. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, somebody had some inside baseball.
So he's like the Paul of the Revelations.
So you think like the Chinese read the book and then went, we should do this?
Maybe it was reverse engineered.
Yeah.
Like, aha.
Think about science fiction has been inventing stuff for 50 years that we have like
actually before the last 100 years. Yeah.
And like nerds like me read that stuff and go, someone could make that. Right?
No, I can't remember the exact term. They call it foreshadowing or predictive programming, like movies that do that. Movies that will show like, especially the espionage, the current world events, like, overthrow of this or, predictive programming of North Korea being hostile. I mean, it's amazing how much stuff that actually comes true. And I know a lot of these guys, books, Koontz, Clancy, Thor, a lot of these guys have a lot of inside information from the intelligence community that specialize in these certain areas where they want to write about it. And it makes great information for literature or movies or whatever. But obviously, to add on to this, Alex Jones.
Oh, boy.
I know how bat crap crazy he is, but a lot of this stuff this guy has actually said, he basically forecasted stuff like this happen. Now he takes it to the fear porn level of where everyone goes out and buys all the toilet paper, or everyone goes and stocks up on freeze dried foods or beans and rice. I mean that's to the level where we don't want to be, because it creates mass hysteria, almost borderline anarchy.
I'm not saying Amazon's delivering that next week, but they are.
I'm not saying I didn't order my emergency pails of food. I'm just saying that we get to that point where we almost have that FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Bitcoin
Sure.
is one of those.
Yeah.
Fear
By
of
the way,
missing
that
out.
just went down another 5%.
Actually,
Nailing
it took a massive hit today. But we have that. And as Americans, we truly thrive on that too. Like, I mean,
we're loving it.
Yeah, we love it. We thrive on the fear. We will personally tank our economy just because of this, because we love the fear.
I don't know about that.
No, we will.
I mean, people love their money more than I think they love
I guess
their
we'll talk about Corona later,
yeah. But, well, yeah, we'll talk about that.
But Koontz, I think, going back to the book, I think it's interesting how these guys can really predict, predict events yet to come.
I mean, it was spot on.
Yeah.
Wuhan bronchitis.
Now, did you fact check that just to make sure that was actually an excerpt?
I did not go by the book, but I will.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious. I mean, it'd be interesting to read now, because maybe we know how the outcome happens.
Oh, yeah. Let's read the end of it and see what happens.
Yeah, like the Clancy books I've read, some of that stuff has become very close to true. It's written 2 or 3 years before something happened.
Right. Well, I mean, hell, spinoff from X-Files. There was a show called The Lone Gunman. There was actually a spinoff of X-Files. And the first episode of The Lone Gunman was them crashing a plane into 9/11, or the Twin Towers. And then it happened shortly after that episode aired, and the show got immediately canceled.
They probably didn't like that show. They're like,
yeah,
we're out.
But you know what I'm saying? There's it's crazy how I think, and sometimes I wonder if the intelligence community leaks information to Hollywood or writers that are popular. They can actually maybe.
But in 1981,
hey,
that is the long game, my friend.
No,
well done, CIA.
No, but I'm saying, well, I don't. The Wuhan, I think a lot of this stuff may be coincidence, but these governments, these rogue governments that specialize in creating bioweapons, these things. I mean, I think you probably could foreshadow that. Obviously, he probably knew about the R&D facility of Wuhan, and
I didn't see when that was built. That'd be interesting to know.
But I mean, every country does it. I shouldn't say every, but a lot of the countries that basically have economies based off military or whatever have these type of facilities. I mean, hell,
right.
I mean,
but like to say in the U.S., like, well, this came from Campbellsville, Kentucky. Like nobody knows Campbellsville. Like if you're gonna say it's coming out of China, say like Beijing or whatever. But Wuhan, it's tiny.
It's an industrial center, though, right?
Oh,
There's a ton of manufacturing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out of Wuhan. Yeah,
so these guys do their research and see where the stuff actually.
But
happens.
I mean, but this is
my pillows came from.
This isn't the first time we've seen stuff creep out of biohazard facilities either. There's always the conspiracy of Lyme disease escaping right off of. I forget where it's at now, but there's a research facility of that. Montauk Island. There's research facilities in this country. We've had like episodes of epidemics of small pockets of it have happened, and they think that these diseases creep out of these facilities. So I mean, obviously, I think we'll look back in 5 years if we're still alive to see that. I think they'll probably be able to re-engineer this virus and actually see that it's probably a weaponized version, whatever.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I'm confident that's going to happen.
But Dean Koontz, I'm going to have to go back and reread all his books now.
Come on. All right. So.
Well, then I'd use them for toilet paper after that.
You're going to need to.
Oh, there you go.
Did you guys have any thoughts on that? Copy. All right. So let's go into some wacky news brought to you by 1812 Barbecue. If you have a catering event that is needed, that's coming up, and you need 1812 Barbecue to do it, please contact our friends. Their information is on our sponsors link of our website, so you can check out give Eric a call, and he's going to hook you up.
Maybe he can get a freeze dryer. That way he can have some of those emergency 25-year packs of barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
And by the way, I heard he just got a new smoker. It's getting in. He's excited about it.
He's to break it in, right?
He needs to, yeah.
He needs to bring some samples up here so we can try it.
No doubt.
Yeah. Maybe some smoked wings.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be down for
Please.
that. A Las Cruces woman was driving a stolen vehicle she claims to be Beyonce. A woman caught driving a stolen vehicle Saturday morning allegedly told police that she was the singer Beyonce Knowles. Las Cruces police had to use a fingerprint scanner to properly identify her. Serena Henry, 48, of the 1400 block of Alamo Street, is charged with 1 count of unlawful taking of a motor vehicle, a felony, 1 count of concealing identity, a petty misdemeanor, and resisting arrest. At the time of her arrest, she had multiple warrants out for her arrest. She stole the vehicle and then parked it in front of her own home. She got outside. She said that the keys were left inside, so she decided to take it for a joyride. She was arrested, and then when she was confronted, she said she was Beyonce. I'm going to pass around this picture and tell me if you guys think that she could possibly pose or be confused with Beyonce. Robert, what do you say?
No.
Well, I mean, TV, it makes everyone look a little bit different.
Wow. Ew.
So they said they had to fingerprint her to verify her identity?
Right.
As a different idea, or as just not Beyonce?
She looks a lot like more Fred Sanford than Beyonce.
What was the George Jefferson's wife?
Wheezy.
Yeah.
Wheezy,
Yeah. Oh,
Wheezy is a model compared to her. Holy smokes.
And by the way, her picture looks like, you don't believe me?
What's up, dog?
I think they had to identify her because she wouldn't give her name, so they had to figure out who she was.
To make sure she wasn't Beyonce.
I think that they knew that just by looking at her.
I don't know.
But I mean, I'm gonna say I'm the long lost brother of Chris Farley. See how far that goes.
I'm Joe Biden. Malarkey. You're foolish.
The 1812 barbecue story started over 20 years ago when Eric and his dad started entering local barbecue competitions for fun. During that time, Eric, a United States Marine, has traveled all over the world picking up flavors and techniques that today is the unique flavor of the award-winning 1812 barbecue. He has honed his craft to bring you fall-off-the-bone pulled pork, mouth-watering ribs, and finely crafted beef brisket. Eric has developed his own amazing dry rub and delicious barbecue sauce. And let's not forget the sides: coleslaw, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, cowboy baked beans, and to top it all off, banana pudding and pecan pie for dessert. Getting hungry yet? Good. Call or email Eric at 1812 Barbecue, and he can make your next catered meal happen. Wedding and graduation parties, family reunions, and other events will be memorable with 1812 Barbecue. Want to try your own hand at smoking meats? Pick up your own 1812 dry rub and start the journey for yourself. Shipping all over the world, connect with Eric on his Facebook page, Instagram at 1812 Barbecue, or call 704-604-5148. Or email Eric at eric.line@1812barbecue.com, and he'll be glad to help any way he can. Yeah, speaking of, firefighters in North Yonkers have tackled a blaze that broke out after a pig swallowed a pedometer, which then combusted in its pen. After excretion, fire crews were called to a blaze covering 75 square meters at four pig pens in Bramham. No, that's ironic. Near Leeds on Saturday afternoon. The North Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service said the fire was caused by nature taking its course and the copper from the pedometer battery reacting with dry hay and the pig pen's contents. Get this one. The pedometer was being used to prove that the animal was free range and he had taken it off one of his fellow pigs. No,
it's getting the worst Amazon review ever.
No animals were harmed as a result of the fire. They put out the blaze. So pig ate it, the pedometer, pooped it out.
What a chain of events!
I mean, you couldn't make that up.
It's probably in a Dean Koontz book.
Was this predicted? Yeah, in one of those books.
Oh, speaking of predicting, do you have any SFP headlines for us, sir?
I did record an episode this week.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give it away.
Oh.
It's one of my best episodes ever, I think.
Really?
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds like my wife when she's like, "You want to come upstairs?" I'm like, "What are we doing?" She's like, "Come upstairs."
Folding laundry.
And then all of a sudden I'm folding laundry or cleaning the lint trap out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. So let's go into some hot topics brought to you by Hook, Line, and Heroes, 501c3. organization that gives our vets the opportunity of a lifetime going fishing and learning about their relationship with God. All right, so this is going to make Mojo extremely happy. Chick-fil-A will start selling their bottles of its signature sauce. Chick-fil-A is entering the grocery business with bottles of its signature sauce and Polynesian sauce. Starting April, the 16-ounce bottles will be sold in Florida at the Publix, Target, Walmart, and Winn-Dixie stores. It's going to be about $3.49. It's the first time that Chick-fil-A will sell its product at retail stores. The move is part of Chick-fil-A's broader strategy to reach people outside of their restaurant. Going outside of the restaurant chains, people have been sluggish to get traffic in their stores, so they're looking for new ways to reach people at home and work, often by partnering with delivery services and encouraging customers to use their apps. Chick-fil-A has also experimented with meal kits. Do you guys remember the meal kits? Mm-hmm. Did you ever try any of those? But now they are going to try putting their sauces.
So they're saying this is a response to trying to drive more sales because they're losing sales?
Not that they're losing sales, but they just want to get into
get enough
sales.
Tell
that to the 75,000 cars in the parking lot and the drive-thru. Come on.
Not enough. They need 3 drive-thru lines to get everybody.
No doubt.
Maybe just put 2 Chick-fil-A's beside each other.
Like a Starbucks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
In addition to selling their stores in the big box stores, they will be selling 8 ounces of their signature sauce, Polynesian, barbecue, honey mustard, and green herb ranch sauces, and catering orders within their stores. So you'll be able to buy those in the stores. Other ones you can find at the grocery store.
So I'm going to need you to send me some from Florida.
Sounds good.
Because obviously we don't have it yet.
$3.49 for all you can eat. Well, I mean, for a 16-ounce bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, it's like a sitting.
Or you just go through the drive-thru and ask for 12 packs.
Well,
That's the question.
That or you go inside and just keep going up with like glasses or a hat or a hoodie.
Just bring your whole family in and just go, hey,
well, I would have been more impressed if they would have partnered up with Adam and Eve and came out with a Chick-fil-A massage oil. That would have been awesome. Honey, you want to get in the mood? Yeah, grab the Chick-fil-A or Polynesian sauce.
They should do it like what White Castle does with like the little hamburgers.
Yeah.
They did like little chicken minis in the freezer section.
Oh,
those would sell out every Sunday.
Like call it the Sunday selection or something like that. Yeah.
Or they'd probably be like, you couldn't buy them on Sunday still. They'd probably put it like, pick them off the shelf.
It'd be like the old beer laws where you could
there'd be a
lock on the
sign,
beer
yeah.
It's a time delay. Once it hits midnight, it opens up. And you could partner with Sister Schubert's. Just put your nugget in the middle of that bad boy.
I don't know what that is.
Krispy Kreme.
Oh.
Now, Sister Schubert is a pre-made yeast roll.
Oh.
It's really good, though.
I will say their packaging for this sauce looks really cool. It looks like an actual Chick-fil-A.
Looks like suntan lotion.
Oh, it's like a packet turned
It
on
looks
the
like
side.
a packet on its side.
I see what they did.
Pretty
there.
genius, right?
So
there.
you said the flavors are.
You can only buy at the store the signature sauce and the Polynesian.
See, I like the Polynesian. That's my thing. Yes.
My
favorite.
daughter, my oldest, I guess TikTok was social media app was actually a valuable tool. You actually take the spicy sriracha sauce and then take that container, take a Chick-fil-A sauce container, actually take the chicken breast off your sandwich, put it in the foil bag they give you, dump one container of each sauce, shake it, put it back on the sandwich. Epic life changer.
I'm so confused at what just happened.
It's like tossing it in sauce, basically.
Yeah. But what about the bun?
Genius.
We take the breast off the bun, put just the breast by itself in the bag.
Got it.
Pickle stays out.
Stays out.
Just eat the pickle.
Yeah, one of the two. It's your dealer's choice on that.
So you're coating it again with another sauce.
Well, that's like
a wing sauce.
When you told me you like tear your sandwich in half and dip it in the sauce, and
it's perfect.
I couldn't handle it.
Mind blown right there.
Yeah, I just throw the sauce on top.
I throw the sauce on top, rip it, and then I dip it.
I rarely use sauce on Chick-fil-A.
But see,
really?
Yeah.
Whoa! It's not too dry?
Nope.
No.
No, they keep it humidified in that little tinfoil bag.
I don't know. Sometimes.
But see, when I eat nuggets, I use a fork for full coverage.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, and they're like, how many sauces do you need? Well, how many you got?
Just put them in the bag.
I just want the sauce, but I got to eat. I don't want to with a spoon eating the sauce.
Can you come in and like order a lemonade and like a pack of sauce, like a bag of sauces?
Well,
this is it. This is Mojo. Welcome to Chick-fil-A. Can I help you? Yeah, I'd like one chicken nugget, just one, and it comes in packs of 5 or 10. I'll take a 10. Would you like any sauces with that, Mojo? Is a case too much?
Well, I have been known to use almost a full container of sauce per nugget before. Yeah,
100%.
It's good.
It is delicious.
But I was on Polynesian for years, and then I discovered Chick-fil-A sauce. I mean, it's so good.
So, out of the Chick-fil-A sauces, is Polynesian and Signature the two that you would, if you could choose to put in a bottle? Are those the two? That
Yeah,
you
I
would
think
do?
so. I think Chick-fil-A sauce. Yeah.
For me, Polynesian, I don't really. The Chick-fil-A sauce does nothing for me.
Robert?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah. I love the Chick-fil-A sauce. My second would probably be the barbecue sauce. I do like their barbecue sauce.
Barbecue's just basic. It's like basic Becky, the white girl who goes to
sweet
Starbucks.
ketchup. Yeah.
Yeah, but it tastes delicious.
But if you like it, you like it.
I do honey mustard probably is the second. Just any honey mustard.
But there's two honey mustards. They're like there's the regular honey mustard, and then there's like the smoky honey mustard.
Really?
Yeah, the smoky honey mustard that comes in the long pack, like the dressing.
Oh no, it's not the Chick-fil-A sauce. That's I know what you're talking
honey
about. It's
mustard,
like a smoky.
The packet thing, the honey barbecue thing.
Yeah, there
Right,
you
the
go.
It tastes just like Chick-fil-A sauce.
It does not taste like
it
Chick-fil-A
does not.
sauce.
It's completely different.
No, that's like saying Folgers tastes like
Maxwell House.
no. Folgers tastes like
Charmin.
Starbucks or whatever. It could taste like Charmin.
You make it right, it might.
Hook, Line, and Heroes is a 501c3 nonprofit based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Founded in 2017 to show God's love and appreciation for our disabled and PTS military veterans. They provide professionally guided fishing trips to nominated veterans at no cost to the veteran. Hook, Line, and Heroes has provided over 30-plus trips around the Carolinas since their founding, from red fishing down in Charleston to striper fishing on Lake Norman, and even offshore fishing down in Florida. Each trip is a one-on-one experience with a member of the organization, aiming to provide a day of fun and relaxation on the water and begin a lifelong relationship with them. Each veteran leaves the day with a fully stocked tackle box, rod and reel, apparel, a Bible, and a daily devotion to kickstart their new hobby and build their relationship with God. Please take the time to visit their website at hooklineandheroes.org to hear and learn more about them. You can help in many ways by nominating a veteran you know through their website, join their monthly giving program, Healing Heroes, or send a one-time personal or corporate donation. You'll also be happy to hear that they are completely volunteer-run, and nearly 100% of your donations goes directly towards providing trips for the veterans. Be sure to follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to see their veteran stories and to show your support. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about the corona and, man, you talk about cancel culture. We are canceling everything. Mojo, it was released today. There will not be an NCAA tournament. That is canceled. Not even postponed. It is canceled.
Now, are they canceled it fully, or are they just doing it instead of
Done?
Just so they're not even
Completely
playing.
This morning it was playing without fans.
Nope.
And then the ACC tournament canceled completely.
SEC tournament canceled. Big Ten canceled. Then the NCAA came out and said, "We're done. We're not going to play it. We're not even going to do it with fans. We're just canceling the whole thing."
Well, I have to wait till the insider show to say what I want to say.
Also, keep in mind that the first team that pulled out, that chickened out, was Duke.
Oh, they closed school.
No, we canceled all sporting events.
They said if you have the
They
NCAA,
canceled Duke. All of it.
Look, I cannot defend. I regardless of
It's a private school. They do what they want to do.
my love of that school, but man, I mean, we have baseball. Baseball's postponed opening game.
Yeah, I heard on the way here, like NASCAR is doing races in 2 cities, basically, with no fans.
Indy 500 just canceled.
Yeah.
So Duke earlier today said, if you have the NCAA tournament, we are pulling out. We're not going to do it. That was the first one. Then 10 minutes later, Kansas then said, we're out. We're not going to do it. And then a couple hours later, then they just said, well, we're just going to cancel the whole thing.
So I guess we're going to just be doing the March Madness on PlayStation 4 this year. We'll figure out who the winner is.
Yeah. So, I mean, this whole year is shot.
So
what does that do for, like, prospects? Like, you know, some one-and-done kind of college player. You don't get near the exposure you do
100%
from playing in the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've had the whole season, but it's not the same.
Yeah. People shine on that, and then that's where they get, you know, all the NBA
draft prospects, scouts. Yeah,
are looking at that tournament.
Put this in perspective. We have 7.5 billion people. Mm-hmm. There's currently diagnosed cases, 134,527 cases worldwide. There's been 4,970 deaths. Almost 69,000 people have actually recovered from the coronavirus. Age bracket, it most affects is 65 and up. But hey, we're going to cancel everything. I mean, it's just gotten beyond absurdity.
I know you're trying to push through and not go back to the Duke chickening out first.
No, I have no excuse for that. I mean, I don't agree with it one bit. I mean, what would inspire a school if you're having the NCAA tournament, March Madness, the thing we all look forward to every year? I could give two craps about NFL. I could care less about the Super Bowl. March Madness is my jam.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we don't have it. But and they had a constellation of we'll play the March Madness in an empty stadium, just players only and staff.
I would be okay with that. It wouldn't be the same.
I hate it, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and now we cancel the whole tournament.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Over what?
How much money?
Yeah.
Do you think that? I mean, they make in millions.
No, I'm not worried about NCAA. I'm worried about everyone who has a business, a restaurant, a bar that's right next to where the tournament's being held.
The hotels,
those guys,
the hotel workers.
Yeah, just think of sanitation workers who are picking up the garbage. I mean, these are the people that's going to be impacted.
100%.
Like I said, NCAA, I'm sure they got enough money to
insurance
to hold off.
To cover it, maybe.
But the lay guy how about the guy who saved up all year to be able to attend a tournament?
Yeah.
Even though his team may not be in it, he's now affected.
All the people that have bought tickets, I'm sure they'll do a refund.
I'm sure they will too,
like that. But
they've canceled in the state of North Carolina. I think they pretty much have canceled all sports in every county. Yeah. Well, not every county, but it's going beyond absurdity.
Robert, didn't you say that Disney World shut down?
Disneyland shut down.
Oh, really?
Now, which one is land?
California.
You would think that Florida would be the first one to be like, hey, we're canceling everything.
Yeah.
Because there's so many old people down there.
Yeah. Well, Disneyland is just basically a hop, skip, and a jump from where it's legal to take a crap on the street, piss on the street. So I could see that being, breaking out to an pandemic. So
they canceled the Chicago St. Patrick's Day Parade.
So the governor, I don't know if you saw this while you were driving or not.
I didn't.
Has suggested no gatherings over 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's not like mandated, but they're basically saying no big groups.
Yeah. I've heard various things from CDC, other health experts online, through radio, through press releases that this disease doesn't function very well with temperatures above 70 degrees. It's kind of one of those things that dies out.
I hear that, but then other people say, I think the biggest question or the biggest thing that we're worried about is we don't know what to expect for this thing.
No, we don't. But you keep hearing from the fear-mongering press, okay, and that's CNN, MSNBC. I don't know about Fox.
All of them.
All of them are basically just, obviously they're making money because people are glued to their TVs right now. Between the markets and then this, everyone is just glued to it trying to find out information. If this thing was sweeping the world like it was, we'd already have over 1 million people infected with this and just a massive death rate. They didn't make this big of an issue with swine flu or bird flu or Zika or Ebola. They didn't, this, which
I think makes it almost worse because those things were really bad.
Ebola is scary. You literally crap out your organs.
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't cancel the tournament for that.
No.
But now we're doing this. So is it because? Well, I think part of it is because they don't want to be liable. And Robert and I talked about this earlier.
Sure.
Is, the NCAA doesn't want to be liable for somebody getting sick and then dying and then suing and then them having lawsuits.
Yeah.
So they're being preemptive. I think the other part is the more stuff that we cancel, the less it's going to spread, the more it's going to look like, well, we just overreacted. But if we didn't react, it could be a whole lot worse. I think of you, number one. Oh, sorry, Dad. And then my dad, of like people that like, if this gets in their area, like something bad could happen.
I totally get that, but I'm more worried about the economic impact than I am actually the physical impact.
And I'll let you finish, but everybody,
Kanye,
some people are going to get infected by the actual virus. Everybody is going to be touched by the impact of this virus.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the economic impact has not hit us yet.
Sure.
That's my fear because I deal with people that, blue collar workers. I mean, you're going to start to see a slowdown in construction. You're going to see those guys who work those hourly jobs, working with their hands that are going to be slowed down. And that's what's painful because that has a longer lasting impact than the virus does.
Sure.
I just don't see – I'm not a doctor. No, all disclosure, I'm not. But granted, this thing is spreading, but here's the thing we don't know. We don't hear about the people that recover. All we hear is like so-and-so's infected. Tom Hanks and his wife are infected. Okay, what does that look like? You know what I mean?
He said they're tired.
Yeah. I mean,
is that it?
Yeah, he said that we feel a little tired.
I mean,
oh no, now I'm starting to feel tired.
we don't hear like, oh yeah, I got the coronavirus, I'm good, and I'm going back to work. We don't hear that. We hear about, oh yeah, we get
that's the news because they're not interested in the
no, but we get
positive,
it's a 30% increase today in blah blah blah, or like Italy, there's a 30% increase in death rate today in Italy.
But Italy is going through the crapper.
Yeah,
right now.
but Italy also has socialized medicine. It's a crappy healthcare system.
But they're having to
how
turn
many of the
away.
deaths are coronavirus specific, and how many are the systems clogged up so people aren't getting their treatment and dying?
Well,
as a secondary,
speaking of secondary, we get 90% of our antibiotics from China. That's not coming over here to the U.S. What's going to happen there? Like,
and that kind of goes back to, I hate to say it, but for all the people that bashed Trump with him actually trying to send our manufacturing back here was one of those.
Yeah.
Well, because look, I'm all about a globalist economy because I think the more we spread our wealth as far as helping other countries out or diversifying, I believe that global trade is freedom because we don't become stagnant. But also, you get into a situation like this where we can't get our stuff, then we're if we're subbing all that out. I mean, medical, come on. I mean,
yeah, I heard the. Did you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast?
I started listening to it.
The guy was saying that the expert on that was saying that 100% of the end-stage renal disease medication comes from China. And it's on a boat right now and it's not able to leave. And we have 2 weeks worth of medicine before people start running out.
Yeah.
And that boat's going to take longer than 2 weeks to get here.
Well, I think you'll see drastic measures actually go get that medicine, or we'll figure out a way. I don't foresee that would be a travesty to humanity in our country if all of a sudden we had renal failure patients go without meds, and there was something to do about it. I mean, we have a pretty damn big Air Force. I mean, we can fly helicopters, land on planes, and grab cargo containers, whatever. There's ways to do it. But this one thing, I think once you put all your eggs in one basket, as far as like all our medical in one area, then this is the consequences of that. And we've set that up for 30 years now. I mean,
do you think that it's potentially a good thing? The bright light on this is I think America understands China has us by the balls.
Mm-hmm.
And if this wasn't something that broke out and we're dealing with it now, they could potentially hold out and say, well, you're not getting your meds until blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these meds, I'm willing to bet majority, if not all of the meds that we have in being produced globally are probably a lot of our research and development. So we have the patents, we have the mechanisms to make these things.
Right.
We may not have the raw materials right away, but we have the mechanisms to do it. So I'm pretty sure there's probably shuttered plants around here that maybe, or you can actually have plants to retool to make these meds.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'd be an impossible thing. It just frustrates me that we're not getting true coverage of this. We know almost 135,000 people have contracted corona. We don't know how many people recovered. I mean, we don't know the true numbers.
Well, and I'll throw this out to you, and you guys can speak up whenever you want, but those are the people that have been tested. In the U.S., we're not testing everybody. So the number
Obviously, you didn't get tested.
No, well, I didn't. In fact, I pulled an article. You want to know how many test kits that North Carolina has? According to Dr. Elizabeth Tilson, said the state has enough kits to test, and we'll do an over-under. Mojo, set the over-under of how many kits you think the entire state has.
10,000.
Over or under?
100.
Ooh. Robert, you already know. Because I told you this earlier. 250.
Wow.
We have 250 kits.
Price is Right rules, right?
Right, you won, by the way. Or did you?
I almost said one.
$1, Bob. 250 kits to test. So we're not nearly able to test the population. So how many people are infected? We don't know.
But here's the thing also, I think if you actually had how many people have actually been infected and contracted it, may have actually gone through it and actually felt better. We don't know that number. We don't know the actual. I think if you're actually everyone that had it was symptomatic or asymptomatic and you actually tested them, actually the numbers would probably, the death rate would be a lot less. Like you'd be like, all of a sudden it's like 1% of 1%.
Maybe.
Because, 800,000 people have this. Yeah. And so we just don't know.
So I'm going to write like an iPhone app that if you like pee in your lightning in your port on your phone, it'll tell you if you have the thing or not.
What about the people still rocking like an iPhone 6 or something like that?
Yeah, or whatever port. Yeah, just pee on your phone, it'll tell you if you have it or not.
Actually, we probably should start that as a meme. Maybe that bump Apple stock up a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
The Kentucky governor, which, by the way, they had 4 cases.
They shut down the state now, probably.
Basically, yeah, they have.
The distillery still okay?
But question. One of the things that the governor has announced that he's going to be issuing an executive order that's going to waive the deductibles, copays, cost sharing, and diagnostic tests for private insurance and state employees. He said there's about 430,000 people on private insurance and about 30,000 state employees.
I think Trump did that last night, didn't he?
Did he do that?
I think as part of his speech, he actually waived the copays or any medical.
But can he do that?
Yeah, executive order, he can do that. Yeah. Especially with, I'm pretty sure with the affordable, quote unquote, Affordable Health Care Act, I'm pretty sure that's a blanket coverage thing.
So is that a good idea or bad idea? Thoughts? Because to get the actual coronavirus test, any idea how much that costs?
No clue.
It's like $200, isn't it?
$1,300.
Well, there's only 250 tests in this state, so we're kind of
so we're kind of covered. But it's $1,300 to get both tests that will tell you if in fact you are. So that's how much the street market value is.
Yeah, but he just announced an $8 billion to fund to get testing out to the states and things like that. So these tests will be mass produced. So whoever has a
how long is that going to take?
I guarantee there's things are probably already ramped up in shipment somewhere
From China?
That's the problem. Is where's it coming from? Yeah. The other thing too is
Europe.
numbers. The numbers in China say that they're decreasing. But when was the last time we actually trusted China to give us real data?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't look at China for that. I think I don't know. Everything. This whole thing. You take this one subject of coronavirus and you look at it through the lens of your eyes and how you see it. And things that my takeaways. This has been politicized, weaponized to be politicized. Look at the closures we're having now. I mean, we've, like I said, we had our first case in Cabarrus County. I'm willing to bet they're probably going to have an overreaction here shortly in this county, and school will be canceled.
And in North Carolina, it's going to cancel.
Yeah.
And then that impacts us daily with, we don't have schools, we don't have daycare. So now the little Rugrat's got to be with us.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? So, I mean, and that could impact businesses. That's going to impact the single mom that can't go to work because she's got to watch her kids. Like that's going to be the impact.
Yeah. So this has been politicized. And don't think for 1 minute the opposing party right now that's trying to win the presidential election not going to try to capitalize on every
100%.
Second moment of this.
100%.
And it's almost sickening. You could look at the immediate response last night. Trump did wrong. Trump made the bad decisions, you know. And I don't care. The guy could have came out yesterday and been like, "Hey, I got a cure for the coronavirus. Here it is. It's a magic pill. It's $1 a piece." And they would probably criticize for cost or something. I mean, there's no winning.
Selling it, right?
There's no winning at all with this.
Yeah,
I think, like I said, I mean, I'm not the Joe Rogan podcast. Before I can take it, the guy is he's in this field of viral epidemiology and bacterial epidemiology and looking at outbreaks. He's basically a forensic investigator for diseases. Well, I know one of these guys. He's retired now, but he was my doctor for infectious disease. Like all transplant patients have to go see these guys because you have to get like a front load with all kinds of vaccines and stuff like this before you get the transplant, because you're not allowed to have vaccines after transplant, except for the flu or every year, which is pretty much worthless. These guys are germaphobes. Like this guy he owns a house on a lake in the Charlotte region area. Now this property ain't cheap. This property is probably $1.5 million before you add the house onto it. A certain thing. He will not even go and dip his toe in the water because he's worried about the microbes in it. What I'm saying is that guy is basically on Joe Rogan's podcast. Here?
Well, that part is
so true. That guy, my infectious disease doctor was basically on Joe Rogan's podcast last night. I think he gave his worst case world scenario, which is what he has to do because he looks at these things and says, all right, Ebola broke out. This could impact the country. If we were to run this out to the most logical end, I think this is where we would be.
Well, they said that the worst is going to be in 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll see kind of where we're at that point. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope we're all still here with you. I think we will. Well,
my fear would be if people start turning to Walking Dead.
So
we got a problem.
The people that have died, are they still dead? That's my question.
Oh, who's keeping an eye on those guys?
Right.
I think we should put bells on our toes.
They're going to be vampires.
I'm going to go and watch Mad Max just so I know what the...
Actually, I'm going to start watching Walking Dead with Daryl.
I'm going to go read Dean Koon's book.
All I know is if I meet Carl in any of my Walking Dead scenario seasons in real life, I'm just going to shoot the kid right away because he ruins everything.
Spoilers.
I am convinced that that Judith would not have been in the zombie apocalypse.
She'd be like a zombie snack.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way you're going to keep a kid quiet when there's zombies running around. I guarantee you that now.
I'd never watched the show.
Small Batches just screams all the time. Oh, well, now we're dead. One way that we can keep ourselves nice and coronavirus free, meditation.
Yeah.
Marianne Williamson decided she's going to put out a YouTube video.
Well, she is a former Democrat presidential candidate. She's also like Oprah Winfrey's spiritual guru.
Oh boy,
and a few other Hollywood elites gurus. So yeah, she's written countless books about spirituality and et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah, so she put out a YouTube video on how we can get our mind, body, and soul kind of focused so that we don't get the coronavirus. And if you get started at like minute 9, if you can back that up just a little bit.
Oh,
yeah, I apologize.
You give me a minute.
Yeah. And I agree that there is a link between mind, body, soul. Totally get that. Integrative wellness and healing. I get that piece. And I do feel like that if we are in a panic mode, that does kind of decrease or increase our ability to get infections if we're constantly in a panic mode.
Sure.
I get that. but she's trying to calm us down. And this meditation, you sent it to us, and it is comedy gold. Now, I'm not making fun of her.
I am.
Her
I
religious
think she's a
things,
twit.
whatever. But just the way that she's going about this, I don't know if
whoever said that I've seen better backgrounds than Al Qaeda videos.
By the way, that was me. She looks like she's in a dungeon, by the way. It is, I don't know if it's an ASMR adult entertainment thing or if she's really trying to help, but go ahead and play it and we'll just do a clip of it.
Your hypothalamus, your lung, your pancreas, your liver, your stomach, your cervix.
Careful, here it comes.
Your penis, your vagina, your buttocks, your colon.
Hey,
every
buddy.
cell, every organ, every bone, healed, infused with light, with protection, with healing, with healing, with healing, with healing. The light continuing down now.
Your mouth producer, Brian, right now, I think you need to pick it up off the floor. Are you okay there, buddy? Oh, I mean.
So she put this video out yesterday.
Okay.
And it was on her still presidential candidate page. Even though she's officially dropped out, she still maintains that page along with a couple other ones. And it's about a 15-minute video.
15 minutes.
And basically she just, using the spiritual guru-y stuff. But it talks about the meditation with light. But when she starts listing off the body parts, oh my God.
Her eyes were closed, so that was off from memory.
Well,
just saying.
Yeah. Well,
you don't know what body parts you have?
Some people would have a real hard time with that.
So your arm,
your
knee, fingers.
Knee.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on it, Brian?
That's ridiculous. I mean, I'm gonna make fun of that because that's dumb.
So far we've
that's all I've seen. I didn't watch any of the rest of it.
Well,
I've seen that, and then we've got a little something we're gonna play in a minute. But
so we've had Islamic cleric in Iran recommending.
Oh yes.
The people that go to his mosque to rub violet oil on their anus.
It's like lavender, right?
I thought it was violet.
Lavender CBD or something.
Which, by the way, feels good.
So he's recommended that. You tried everything, haven't you? After you found out you had the corona. You've had that. You have Marianne Williamson, who's now saying just meditate and just feeling through your body parts.
Yeah, and then, but what's great is if you watch this, and we'll have the video on show notes. If you watch it at the very end, which let me back up. So she looks like she's in a dungeon. She's also doing this video of relaxation with a blazer with the buttons on the sleeve. And so as she's talking, she's hitting the desk with these buttons, and that's starting to get annoying after a while. You're like, I can't meditate because you keep hitting.
Cling.
Yeah, cling, 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 cling.
Maybe that was more as code.
Maybe. Help me. I'm in Joe Biden's basement.
Right? I'm a hostage.
I think I read this in a
Send
Dean
the SEAL
Koontz
Team
book.
6.
And then at the very end, she says, "Amen," takes a big deep breath, and I think at this point she's expecting somebody to cut the camera off, and they don't. So she's just staring at the camera for a second, and then she has this wonderful clip at the very end.
Go wash your hands.
Gold.
She winked before she said that.
Yeah, she did this wink, like, you know what's up. Go wash your hands.
No, I'm imagining the light coming through my buttocks.
I would, but now I've got diarrhea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe they should make Chick-fil-A should make a Chick-fil-A sauce hand sanitizer.
Oh, hey, buddy. I'd be all about that.
Someone was saying they have that on their tables or something, like hand sanitizer, and like at some store they put it all out, and then in 30 minutes it was all gone.
I know they have the little individual Purell toilet packets, whatever. So
somebody thought they were at the hotel, and they were just, I'll just go ahead and take this.
Take them all, to wipe on there or whatever.
All right, so we have special guests with us, Robert Belanger from Webmerized website design company. Robert has created our website, southernfriedphilosophy.com, and then remade southernfriedphilosophy.com to make it even better. Robert, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
So, Robert, how you and I go back since I was 17 years old. So we have had a bit of history.
Absolutely.
We should have actually saved some of the JT stories, the best of. We should have probably put that on the Insiders, but we didn't. But Robert, you created a website company. You said, "Hey, Biggun, I'm going to create this." I was like, "You are insane," because you had another full-time job, and so you're doing this. One, because you love creating websites, but also just to make some side hustle. And I think everybody, if they could make some side hustle, they would. But tell us, how did you get started creating websites? And tell us about Webmerized.
So I guess it started around 11, 12 years ago. I had an idea for a website.
Okay.
It was like kind of a local, like home. What's that home?
Home and Garden
Depot.
It was like an Angie's List type thing.
Okay.
So
like Angie's List.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot the other site they used, but it's kind of like that.
Home Advisor.
Home Advisor, something like that, right? So I started building up my. I built like a website, and I started building up local businesses. And they started seeing the site, and they go, "Oh, I don't have a website. Can you help me get started?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll build it for my site. Kind of go along with that type thing." And I started getting more and more requests, and it kind of just built off of that. And next thing I know, I'm not building my site anymore. I'm building sites for all these companies. And that's kind of how it got started. And I really enjoyed doing it. Not only I'm a very technical person. I love building stuff. And that was a lot of fun, but also working with these small businesses, these entrepreneurs that were starting out, putting their life on the line, putting a bunch of money into their business, getting started. And it felt like part of a family, right? So you're helping them build their future. And I loved it. And so I just kind of kept going and going. And then I got in with some marketing companies. They loved my work, and then started doing work for them. And next thing I know, it's like, wow, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just, word of mouth, and it just kind of has grown since then.
Nice.
And it's always changing. It's never dull. You take a website, from 10 years ago, and nowadays it's like, man, it's totally different. Even like 2 or 3 years ago, the designs change on almost monthly basis. All these new ideas coming up. And I know you like tech too.
Yeah.
So it's like a brand new phone coming out every couple of months. All these new gadgets, all these new views, and it's kind of it's fun.
Nice.
Oh, the journey is definitely very fun.
You mentioned on the Insiders, so if you're not a Patreon subscriber, you can be, and then you can get this content. But you mentioned on the Insiders that you're really trying to focus some of your time on SEO, search
Absolutely.
engine optimization. Tell our folks about that, and what is that?
So what SEO is, search engine optimization in short form, it helps Google find your site. And so the joke is where's the best place to hide a dead body? It's on the second page of Google. because no one goes there. You're lost, right? And so, especially if you're a small business, you need to be found. And there's other ways that you can do it. You can do pay-per-click, which you pay for every time someone clicks a link that Google provides and goes to your site. But if you do the kind of organic search, and you can be on that first page, it drives businesses, right? It drives people searching for, home and garden or lawn care or restaurants to your site. And it takes time and it takes a lot of work. Once you get there, it's free advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to maintain it and stuff like that, but it just drives more traffic. And Google likes that kind of stuff. And, the more mobile friendly your site is, meaning it looks good on the phone, the better your score is with Google and all the search algorithms that they do. And so a lot of clients, they have a website for years. And they come to me, and I've had this site for 5 years, and I've only gotten maybe one phone call. And it's like, wow, we'll, here's what we can do. And we start the journey. The first thing I do is kind of work with them. What is your goal? How many clients can you handle? What do you want to focus on? What's your main service or product or idea? And we sit down with them and kind of come up with a game plan. And if they're local, we primarily focus on local business first, and then move on from there. And it's so it's but getting on that first page of Google, it's hard. It's hard work, but
unless
it's
you
worth
have
it.
Like a unique name and somebody's specifically searching for that unique name, it's not going to pull up.
It's very hard to, right?
And most people think, well, it's just, Google will pull up, all the things, but you're right. It's on the second, 8th, 10th page. Nobody looks at that unless I do. And I'm like, oh, well, I just Googled the wrong thing. So I just keep going over and over. But yeah, it's tough. So how have you seen business increase by using that SEO?
So it takes time first off, Google can take up to a year, 6 months to a year once you have a website to get it thoroughly indexed and to even show up, right? But if you start working on what they call keywords, meta information, content's huge, right? You have to have great content to place well. You can't just throw a bunch of words up there and hope it works. It's an art form. And when I first started doing it, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll throw a few things up there, and I started learning, and it's a lot. But it's well worth it, because once you get to that point, Google indexes your site, and it maybe updates it. They may re-index it once a week, or it depends on your site. But you can move up pretty quickly, and it does take time. And like I said, it takes 6 months to a year just for Google to find your site and index it well if you didn't really show up anywhere. Yeah. But then once that happens, you start building and start working and fine-tuning your strategy. Yeah.
Keep going. I'm learning to ask a question, because I know I have a website. Yeah. I just don't know how it functions. So I know about SEO. Yeah. So I defer to Brian for any other questions.
I mean, we can get nerdy if you want to get nerdy.
Let's get nerdy.
So
let's have Marianne say, let's have nerdy.
Chick-fil-A massage oil.
So you say you're building websites. Do you have a platform you work with specifically, or are you going start with a blank page?
So it depends on the client, right?
Okay.
So every client has their own goal, and I have some clients where I've built pretty much a bootstrap format, right? Grid framework, and kind of built it from a blank page, nothing, all the way up. But then after working with the marketing companies for 8-9 years, it's about producing a great product, but also affordable. So a lot of the CMSs out there.
Yeah, use WordPress. You can get a site off the ground in about an hour.
Depends, right. You can build a site.
Basic customization,
Right. And I mean, and I always think as that it's kind of the beginning, right?
Sure.
It's not just, hey, here's a site, it looks okay, but it's like, it's building the page, it's focusing on what your customer needs. And then kind of building on from there. So I don't say, I do a lot of WordPress because a lot of clients come to me and say, hey, I have X amount of dollars for a budget. And this is what I can do. But then I have projects that are, $5,000, $10,000. And then it's like, okay, you have more, I can build things differently. So it all depends on the client and the budget. And that's why I don't necessarily just go to clients and say, hey, here's what I do. Here's your price. I try to find out what they're after. What's their goal? What's their current state? What's their current financial state? Because some of these websites, it can go $10,000, $20,000 in a heartbeat. And most of my clients can't afford that. They're starting out brand new. They're putting some savings into this business. And, to me, I've had some of my clients now for 9-10 years. And it's a great feeling to have that relationship for someone that long and to see them put it on the line and then just grow.
Sure.
And to the point where now they're like, this is great. I mean, I'm an owner of a successful company, and you get to see that. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all type thing. It's more of each customer, has their own story, and depending on what they need and what they want, and what's their budget at that current state is depending on your approach.
Sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned businesses. Obviously, I think you can't survive, and maybe this is just ignorant of me. I don't think that you can survive today without having a website.
Absolutely.
Who else would come to you besides just a small business or a large business that needs a website? Any other groups that you think, hey, that'd be a good idea for a site?
I've had some politicians come to me, doing some of their sites.
It wasn't Marianne, was it?
No, it wasn't. No. I'd have been in trouble for that one.
Yeah, tell her to change her background.
You need new wallpaper.
I get all kind of just off the wall requests, right? I've gotten requests for very interesting dating sites. Oh. And it's like, I'm not doing this. I'm sorry. I've got a guy called me up and he's all excited about the site. And said, well, it's pretty much like Facebook, but it's for certain people. I'm like, okay. And my first question is, what's your budget? And he's like, I got $500 to start off with. And I'm like, okay, you need to go find a college and find some college kid that needs it. And you just get these off the wall, sites.
I
would have taken his money and set him up a MySpace page.
Here you go. Right.
Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's just like Facebook.
No, but you meet some amazing people, and then you also meet some people that you kind of want to forget. But that's with any business,
sure,
obviously. But yeah, you get all kind of different asks for all kind of crazy websites too.
Okay. You mentioned budgets. I'm sure you said you could go you've done $10,000, $20,000 websites, and then you've gone lower. If somebody is starting a new business, what's like an average of maybe creating a WordPress site, just a ballpark range area? That's
one of the most argued questions. You can go online, and I'm a member of a bunch of tech groups and stuff like that, and that's like one of the biggest questions is what do you charge? And then you got the people who say, "Oh, I can do this in a day," and it costs $1,000 or $800 or whatever. Then you got people say it's not worth my time because it's not just building the site. You have to maintain it. You have to have your own hosting, and you're paying for expertise. So yeah, if you have a college person, they could throw up a site that looks okay in a day or so, and then you can have someone who's an expert who does the same amount of work but has a lot of experience behind it, but it looks so much better.
Yeah.
But that question, you'll get responses everywhere from $500, $800 to thousands of dollars. And it just depends. So like for me, I had a potential client that talked to me, and they're starting last Thursday, and they were trying to start a clothing line.
Okay.
And like, I want to go this big e-commerce website.
Store. Okay.
Yeah. Online store.
That's not cheap.
No. And they want all this stuff, and here's what I want. Here's what my end game is. I'm like, great, but what do you have available right now? And he's like, I have like 4 or 5 designs. Hey, let's start there. And we're still working out his exact needs. But it's like, that's how, for bigger sites especially, let's get you running, right? Let's get something out there that's working for you, and not just soaking money from someone, thousands upon thousands of dollars that they don't need yet.
Yeah.
So that's my approach, and there's no simple answer.
Right.
I mean, I definitely, I treat charities a little different. Honestly, if I like the cause and it's a good cause, I'll definitely take care of those people. But I mean, you can find a good site design anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 starting out, depending on what you need and who does it. Now, if you go to a bigger company, a big agency, I work for some of those, and they offer a lot more services right off the gate. They're generally more designed for bigger companies. They charge more, but it all depends. And you got to find the right designer, right? Because I have a lot of people that I work well with, and there's people that we just didn't know, and I'm not the designer for you. And so you can go find someone else that fits your mentality and your goals like that. So that's important. Is never just take the first one, right? Ask around, become educated. Yeah. Be your own advocate. That's a huge. Ask a lot of questions.
Sure.
So that's a huge part of it.
So are you doing any graphics work also, or do you have them?
I do a little graphics myself. Okay. I have people that do a lot of stuff work for me, because I can be creative, and I do some work, but I do like basic things, like basic logo work, basic make the image look better, that kind of thing. But like full like graphics, that's just not my. I can do it, but I'm not great at it.
Sure.
So I generally have people that are much more talented than I do. I have those guys on my team that do it for me. But yeah.
Cool.
I'm pretty legit at a stick figure. I can nail that. It's really good.
I'm kind of squiggly at it still.
You have the Michael J. Fox version?
Yeah. Circle, 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 circle.
What makes Webmerized different than some of the other ones out there?
I would say the relationship. I don't view my customers as a number, and I don't view my customers as a paycheck. It's great. I mean, money is always nice, especially especially in these times. But doing this as long as I have, I really value relationships that I make with people. I value the time I get to spend with them, and I learn about all kinds of different areas. HVAC, other small businesses, stuff like that. You get to learn what they do, and you kind of adapt, and you learn more about what they do and make their site better. But those relationships are awesome, and so I've kind of geared myself as you're not just getting a web designer, you're getting a partner, right? It's not just, hey, I'm building a website for you, and then you never hear from me again. I routinely check up on my customers. I got a customer that does all the tattoo eyebrow stuff, and I does all that kind of stuff. And she went overseas and was selling some stuff in Britain for a while, that kind of stuff. And that was neat seeing that, doing all that kind of fun stuff and learning the culture over there and learning about all that kind of stuff and entails in that. But for me, it's that relationship that makes me different. I'll sit down with you. If I'm locally, we'll meet and have coffee. We'll talk about not just your website. How's your family doing? What's your goals on this? And then kind of come up and get a business plan together too. So,
Yeah.
I think the relationship really sets me apart.
Yeah. Like you want to know what's the beginning part of the business, but even just working with you, you're like, what's the end goal?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to work on at the end? So, and I value that. Like we have at least some type of roadmap to say, this is what it is now, but we're going to move forward and add this or do this in the future.
Absolutely.
So I really value that. Somebody calls you and says, Robert, we want a website. What's the process look like? How does that roll?
So the process, after we're actually during the initial call is to find out more about what you're selling or what the goal of the website is. Mm-hmm. Is it just an informational website where you're just saying, hey, here's some information about whatever subject? Are you
biggunhascoronavirus.com?
Then that's informational. Maybe some links to some some help hotlines.
Sure.
For an anti-WebMD website
right.
as well.
It blocks WebMD for me. That's an app right there.
That's $1 million idea, my friend, right there. But no, figure out what's the purpose of your website. Mm. Is it just informational? Are you selling a product? If so, what is your product? Are you having a service? Because it's a lot different if you're selling a product or providing a service. It's a lot different on how you approach things. And then from then on out, it's kind of say, let me understand more about your company, and then what do you need? What's your goals again? And then just sitting down with them and say, here's what my idea is. Mm. What do you think? And they go, Rob, I like that, but I don't like this. And then we kind of get together a roadmap or a plan and say, here's the time frame. We don't have to build this all at once. For the first 6 months, we can build this. And go with this. And if you're in 6 months, you're ready, we can build on more to it. And so, because I have people, again, that have all these products they want to sell, but they're not there yet. Yeah. But they need more money to make those products. Well, they don't have a website and they want to be an e-commerce company. Well, you have to have sales to expand. So we'll get their most profitable, they think is their most profitable products out there. And then they can go from there. So it's just a communication. Absolutely. So
I just did a quick check, and does biggunhascorona.com is available.
Okay.
So we can get that. Me and Robert are going to work on this. So whenever you're wondering if you have Corona or not, you go to this website, and there's going to be a big red no on it now.
And then when it says no, it has your wife just doing this. Yeah. Just saying the no.
In like 6 months, we'll make it a CMS so I can update it real quick. If we bring in beer to the studio, it might switch to yes real quick. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I'm liking the idea.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Do you have any thoughts, Mojo?
I'm not technical, and
but you have a website.
But you're a small business owner who understands the need for marketing.
SEO management fascinates me. I'm trying to come up with the correct word.
Sure.
Fascinates me because you're always looking for that first page look. These are thoughts, and you can elaborate on them. So, I have a website. It's pretty much a cut template for car dealers, motorcycle dealers, power sport industry. It's major companies, and they handle your SEO also, which I don't see much traffic from it right now. Mine is all traffic driven by me, pretty much. So things like I would be kind of curious to see how someone. I've always been curious, like maybe developing another website for, especially our products, our services, just to kind of have a landing page for that. To also see if I could basically drive traffic to both sites. The e-commerce fascinates me because I'm starting to transition into apparel and things like that. So I'd be fascinated by that. But the SEO just fascinates me as far as how you guys do that, how you make the sausage. I don't know how you make the sausage on that, but I'd be kind of curious.
Well, SEO is tricky because Google keeps changing the rules
all the time.
So what I was doing, I was a web developer like 15 years ago, and the things you had to be sneaky then. You hide things, and meta tags and things like that. And that's how like these like Indian companies would get you pay them $100 and bam, your site's up real quick because they'd go in and on every single page put these little sneaky little tricks in there. And then Google got smart and took it all out. So you have to stay up on the trends and what's allowed and what's not, and constantly change.
And the big thing is now is the term is mobile-geddon. It's pretty much Google
mobile what?
Mobile-geddon.
Mobile,
like
Armageddon,
Armageddon.
Gotcha.
So basically, it's pretty much saying Google is not going to find your site unless your website can be viewed mobile on your phone, and it has certain type of rules and stuff like that. So you have to make Google happy, and that's key. So they're going for what they call mobile first design. Is basically saying the first thing they're going to is, hey, does your phone respond well on mobile devices? If not, you're going to have a very hard time being found. If that, they said now, I think right now it's extremely hard to even place if you're not mobile, and then eventually it's going to go away. Where like if you're not mobile responsive, if your site is not mobile friendly and responsive, you're not going to get found.
If you're a small business owner and you have a website now, how do you know if you're mobile friendly or not?
There's general sites, but Google will help you find that. But it's most of it's self-explanatory. You pick it up, and you can look at it, and if it just fits to your phone, and you can scroll up or down. Like our site, Southern Fried is obviously, but there's also a lot of tests you can run, and Google can run tests, and we have tests that we run because Google has even tests that says, hey, this button is too close to this image, and users may be able not to differentiate between the button and the image. So I get reports on that occasionally. It's like, hey, this is a little too close. Sure, I'll go in and update it.
All right, so it may not be Google friendly, but how about Bing friendly?
Who's Bing?
Alta Vista. Do we have you do that?
What is it? Netscape Navigator? Is that what we're? Yeah. But I mean, so SEO is key, but also your site structure. I mean, having the right content, having it mobile friendly, is a good start. And then SEO could take a while. I mean, on my personal site, I mean, I'm on the first page, but it took me a while. Yeah. Web design web design in Jacksonville, Florida is hard, and so I'm up against, really big competition, but I've gotten there, and it took me some time, a lot of work, a lot of studying, a lot of trial, a lot of error. Nothing like getting on the first page and go, I'll make some changes. And then next thing you know, you're gone. It's, oh God, really? So you work back up, but it's a process, and Google, has done a good job about not just catering to big businesses. And if you're not on the first page, but you're starting out, they do offer pay-per-click, and they kind of walk you that ads, and you can set your budget. So you can go from $5 a day to $10 a day.
That gets all the way expensive.
It does.
That can get so expensive.
It does, but it does help you in the long run, depending on it depends on what you're doing. Depends on what your service is, and stuff like that. So that's something to consider. But it's all kind of different options. And again, if you're a service, if you're like a local service, like lawn care company, all those ads like that are good, because you can get found. Google Places, Google Business, it's free.
Yeah.
That's how you show up on the maps. It's free.
Yeah. Google Business is huge.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. It's free. Go ahead and get it set up. And if a service can get a little tricky, but if you have an actual location, it's a lot easier. But that and social media, again, it's free stuff. It's generating traffic. If you're a small business and limited budget, do that first. That's the first thing I ask people. They go, hey, I need to build my brand. I need to get more business, need more traffic. Like, do you have a Google Business account? Do you have a Facebook? And I'm like, well, no, I don't. I said, well, it's free. Let's start there first.
So normally, and this is a little bit different, I Googled, does Biggun have Corona? And what I'm getting is Monta.com, Big Guns Inc. But normally I'll
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
I'm not going to touch that one. No. I've got covenant eyes on this thing. I'm not touching that. But sometimes you see the ads, like it'll say ad at the very top. Is that the pay-per-click?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like an ad, and then they do that. Okay.
And they have ads for those, also ads for map too.
Okay.
So like on the map, if you have like an ad, and it's actually a green marker.
Okay.
All the rest of the markers are blue, and that one's a green one. And it says it's an ad or sponsored link, and you can use that.
Right. So my question is, if somebody is paying Google, like, hey, I want people to find my business on maps, do they intentionally route you that direction so that you pass by said marketplace? I don't know. Because sometimes I'm like, Google, that's not the quickest way
They'll drive you around the other motorcycle shop.
Right. Like, this guy's paying, but.
Well, I can tell you, back in the day, I hit a Google ad because my wife, like for our anniversary, I'd try to go buy her something like from Tiffany's, the cheap stainless steel stuff. It's not cheap. It's like a couple $100, whatever. So I hit Google Tiffany's closest to me. Well, there's one in Atlanta. So I load up my oldest at the time. She was a baby. Load her in a car. I think she was probably 4 years old. So I hit the ad for Tiffany's, and all of a sudden I make my way down to Atlanta. So 2.5 hours later, I'm sitting in front of a strip club called Tiffany's Gentlemen's Club. Obviously, I should have probably paid more attention.
Probably should have.
Yeah.
Lesson learned there, right?
So what'd you do with your daughter when you got there?
Well, actually, she's good for a couple free drinks.
So I just got this update from on southernfriedphilosophy.com. You posted, even with coronavirus panic buying, no one wants to eat vegan food.
Yeah.
You posted that. That picture was taken by a friend of ours in Houston.
Oh,
and
nice.
it got memed and went from there. So thought that was interesting.
That is.
Yeah. How about when Harvey went
we
through?
have a fact checker on our Facebook thing?
Crack
or
research
you
team.
know about the page?
She follows us.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And she took the picture during Harvey.
Gotcha.
And it got memed then, and then it's getting memed again.
Gotcha.
How
Wow.
about you?
Interesting.
Was there a shark in the river on that one?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
Robert, what are some of your favorite stories?
There was a shark and a Charmin, though.
Cha-ching. What's some of your favorite stories when working with customers or making websites that have really just impacted you, maybe your business, but then impacted you personally?
This is success stories, right? Those are by far. I have old friends from school that have called me up. I haven't talked to them for years. A good catch up time. Like, I'm looking to build a website, and then they start it and they quit their job and start their own business. Wow. And next thing you know, he's texting me and he's so excited. He's like, I hired an accountant.
Wow.
He's like, then a couple months later, I hired a salesperson. I hired a receptionist, and he's just so excited. And it's just those type of stories, man, keep me going.
Nice.
And obviously they're being successful. It wasn't just me, obviously, not just the website, but saying I had a part in that, right? I mean, he's very, that friend in general is very, he overthinks everything. So he was thinking of 1,000 different ways to do things, content, just stressing himself out, kind of like you with coronavirus, just getting really stressed out about nothing. I kind of settled him down, and we got a good game plan together. And slowly, and all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I got my first customer from the website today.
Nice.
Great!" And next thing you know, he's like, "I'm getting phone calls. I'm getting this. I'm getting that." And then we started rolling out his Facebook page and some other ads. Next thing you know, he's just rolling.
Nice.
And that's a great feeling. I mean, it doesn't always end up that way, but those type of things, saying I had a part to deal with it and helping people get successful. Yeah. And that's exciting for me. And those type of things will keep me going, definitely.
Corona. I think in today's economy, though, I really believe an internet website is, just to have some bookmark on the interwebs. I mean, I think that's huge. I talk about social media. I mean, I'm still behind on social media. Like, I know how to use the Facebooks. Just opened up an Instagram, but I find myself just looking at other motorcycle companies, watching products and their social media. They do a much better job than I do. But I think it's huge, vital important to have that bookmark on the interwebs to say, hey, we're here. And like you said, you don't have to have a brick and mortar for a lot of these businesses. So,
well, think about your website as your office that's open 24/7. And would you go? I mean, I've gone to some really shady restaurants, knowing that they have good food.
You said shady.
Shady.
Okay, I'm just making sure so we don't get pinged. Okay,
I said shady. But if someone showed up to your business, your brick and mortar store, if you had one, and it looked horrible, would you go in, especially a restaurant? Would you, or any business, would you be willing to pay these people money to do something for you? And most answers is no. So your website is your office is open 24/7. When I'm looking for home improvement stuff, especially bigger projects, I'll look social media, I'll get their ratings, but then I'll look at their website. And if it looks horrible, and I'm thinking to myself, you did not take the time or the money to make something right. It looks like it was built, 8 years ago. I'm kind of worried, how much attention and detail are you going to take on my stuff? But but you're right.
I think we all look for that. I think we kind of look for the the curtains in the room with the website because there are there's actually if you Google oldest websites on the internet, there's actually a whole page dedicated to websites that have not changed since day one, and that's their claim to fame. Wow. There's a pizza restaurant out there that has the same website, and it is like MySpace 1.1. I mean, it is basic. So, but I as a consumer, I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You look at those websites that are kind of for me, idiot-proof, user-friendly,
Right.
but also make me want to stay there. They give me that warm and fuzzy. So it's just kind of like coming to a brick and mortar. I mean, you want it to be warm and inviting. Same thing with a website too.
Absolutely.
How often, if somebody has a website, how often should they be updating that and getting that, new content, updating, making it look fresh and clean?
I mean, for content update, as much as you can, especially if you're service-based, updating your specials, updating any new plans or maintenance plans you have as a company. As an overall look and feel, I have clients that want it every year, depending on the new in look, right? So it can go that far. But we offer hosting plans and maintenance. And that keeps all our software and everything that we use up to date.
Tell us about that.
So, for example,
you perked up there for a second.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to get too much in the weeds. I was going to ask you if you did any hosting.
We do hosting, okay. and especially with WordPress stuff, especially you have to keep that stuff updated.
Oh yeah,
and we have a lot of automatic software that runs and checks everything and updates stuff for us. Update the core WordPress versions and themes and all that kind of fun stuff and plugins that we use. So not only does that make your site secure and you have backups just in case something ever happens, but when you want to make those changes, right? If you want a site overhaul, it's much easier because your site is already up to date, and then you can go ahead. You don't have to go in there and update things.
Yeah, you're not 10 versions behind on something that's going to break something else.
Yeah, that's been in some stories of taking over sites and walked in to the back end and been like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like me whenever I decide to play Fortnite. It takes like 6 updates to get there. Like,
buy a new phone.
By the time that happens, I'm like, I'm done.
But it's just personal. I mean, like if you're service and product based, obviously you want to update a lot. If you're, but the look and feel, it's just personal preference. I mean, obviously if there's any standards, design standards, especially from Google, you need to follow those, and that's going to help your business. But other than that, though, it's just what's appealing.
Okay.
Right.
So what are all of the things that Webmerized does?
Okay, so we already discussed the web design. We do that. We also offer, as we said, hosting and maintenance plans. So if you already have a website built in WordPress or not, we can take over your site and make updates for you and host your website as well.
Okay.
SEO, as we talked about, pay-per-click advertising, we do that as well.
Okay.
And also we can do some marketing. We're getting into that, and we have a lot of partnerships with other companies that are really amazing that do video advertising and stuff like that as well. So we can get in with that and help you get involved with that kind of stuff.
Wow. Okay.
So we kind of do a lot. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of cool stories, a lot of things you get to do. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Webmerized.com.
Okay. And
that's it's a funny name, but it's spelled WEB like web, MERIZED.com.
I've spelled that wrong so many times.
It's like mesmerized, but Webmerized. I thought it was cute.
But memorized kind of thing. But
yeah. There's that too.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's probably where the O came in. That's not there.
I hear the commercial for Dinovite all the time on talk radio, and I still can't think of the website. Is it DY or DI?
And you came here and you said, I've got a special offer for our listeners. So tell us about that.
Absolutely. So I think it was we were doing right now, I think it was 10%? 10% with the code. What was the code again? Mojo.
I think you need to double down and go 10% and a roll of toilet paper.
Oh.
I'll do that.
Just throwing it out there.
I'll throw it out. What does it matter what brand? Charmin Ultra Soft?
It better not be that one.
John Wayne toilet paper.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. If you call or email me and say you found me on the show, I'll throw an extra 10%.
An extra 10%?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 20%.
Yeah.
Giving it away. It's almost free.
It's almost free.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
And then you also talked about referrals. So tell us about that.
So I give referral fees. A lot of my friends do it, and clients as well. I'll throw in, either, if they already have a site with me, I'll throw in free hosting, stuff like that. But I generally will throw them a 10% referral fee as well.
Okay.
That's how I've grown, word of mouth.
Yeah.
I have, especially small businesses, that's how they survive. They make networking. And so that's how I survive. That's how I do a lot of my business is word of mouth. And so I always take care of my friends and clients.
So if you already have a website and you're like, I'm good, but Joe Bob comes to you and says, hey, I need a website. Where did you get yours? And they say, hey, you know what? You should go check out Webmerized. And they say that also use the promo code Mojo, that they'll get 10% of that.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's a good deal.
It is a good deal.
10% of the finder's fee? Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Can I refer myself?
What if you referred yourself and used promo code Mojo and got 20% off, and then referred yourself and got another 10%?
That's like six extra rolls of toilet paper.
That's incredible.
I don't understand toilet paper math,
right?
Or Webmerized math. I'm sorry. Just call me.
By the end of it, he's going to owe you $40. That's how it works. Robert, it has been, and I'm not going to get teary, it has been a pleasure and an honor to know you as a friend and a person. You have, thank you. You go above and beyond, not just our friendship, but just people in general. And I really respect that about you. You have got a work ethic that is bar none. And you work your tail off, and you make sure that people are happy with your product. So I have no problems with any of our friends saying, I need to check out Webmerized, because I know for a fact that they're going to get a quality product, great price, and they're going to get amazing customer service, because I know you as a person. And because of that, I will hands down recommend you, no doubt.
And thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to wrap up our show before I start crying or have the virus.
It's like a damn Sarah McLachlan PETA commercial here. Oh, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please go to our Webmerized website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can also, is it 10%? Hey, yeah. Just say Mojo, and I get 10%. You can also check us out on Facebook at Southern Fried Philosophy. Wherever you listen to your podcast, just go there. Put the old magnifying glass, Southern Fried Philosophy. If you don't know how to spell Southern or fried, philosophy I can kind of see getting hungry out. But if you don't know how to spell Southern or fried, then I'm going to Joe Biden punch throat you. Just hit subscribe, give a like, give a review, a rating. That'll be pretty kick-ass. We'd appreciate that. And I might even throw you a free roll of Charmin for my Y2K supply that I have still in my bunker. Also, if you're not listed as an organ donor, please go sign up. Go to your iPhone, Apple app for health, I guess. Hit the old organ donor. If you haven't, if you don't have an iPhone, just go to your DMV. I know it's a pain in the ass. Just sit there and register also register as a voter too. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, you can save some life. Oh, by the way, we had I was part of the fundraiser effort in Salisbury.
Tell us about that.
And I think we signed up, like 60 people out of 60 people out of 400 for organ donors. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
How many lives is that going to touch?
Well, you can save up to 8 people. So it's 480 people that you can save lives. But actually, I think 20 parts of body can be given to other people. So that's actually, so it's like 2,400, 2,500 people that you can actually help with tissue, organ, bone, eye, things like that. So, pretty phenomenal event. And we got to drink a few beers outside. So that was perfect. Pretty snazzy.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, so don't be an a-hole. Go sign up to be a donor. Plus, you might have coronavirus. You don't need them anyway.
Yeah, you're done. Hey, listen, we just finished wrapping up, and we put on our SFP Insiders Only page, episode 2 of the SFP Insiders. Great episode. We had a bunch of fun, right? I mean, we enjoyed it.
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, you buddy.
I ate a lot of pizza and Mexican.
There was a lot of Old English on that podcast.
And discount mattress talk. We had a great time. If you want that content, it's super easy. Go to patreon.com/SFP radio. You can join just $1. Just donating $1 a month.
Actually, put in the promo code Webmerized.
For just $1 a day, Biggun can find out if he has the coronavirus.
It's a $1,300 test. We got to save up.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. But just $1 will get you access to that. So, go check it out. It's not going to cost you much. So, do that. And then, again, we appreciate you guys. Take somebody's phone. If you're driving right now, I understand, but somebody around you, just take their phone, just write a review, give us a review. That really helps us move up, as we said at the beginning of the show. And then that just leads to more and more growth for our shows.
By the way, on the Insiders, shout out to Marty, Commoners, comments, commenters. Appreciate them letting us host it there.
Yeah.
Be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Appreciate the food, beer, and camaraderie.
Yeah.
And embarrassing you.
Sure.
Evidently, I'm horrid. So that's great. I'm semi-horrid.
No, you're not. But anyway, so we thank you so much for listening to the show.
The Islamic cleric just came out and said if you actually rub Adam and Eve's Chick-fil-A sauce on your bum hole,
what happens?
Avoid the coronavirus. That can't be said straight.
Well, just in that note.
Go wash your hands. Thanks.
You're listening to the SFP Radio Network.